Let's now look at the trim and range adjustment section. Normally an aircraft trim is made with the RC transmitter trim controls. Now this is fine, and it can also work with a gyro in place. However, it's more advisable to have the trim settings actually on the output of the gyro rather than on the input, i.e. to be as close to the aircraft servos and control surfaces as possible. The reason is that normally a gyro will get its input from the RC transmitter, which it will interpret as a request for a particular roll rate about one of the axes. Now, if there's a constant trim in place, then it's basically telling the gyro a constant small roll rate is required. I mean, this is okay. I mean, it's not going to produce any problems, but it's much more advisable to have that trim on the aircraft side right from the word go, and so any stick movements will be referenced to a zero roll position. So, how we achieve this is as follows. The first step is to connect everything up, connect the aircraft to the gyro, connect the PC software to the gyro, and modify visually the trim. So basically, looking at the control surfaces, the trim can be modified using these buttons here. Trim, roll, yaw, for example. If a mistake's been made, the zero button can be pressed and we can start all over again. So we make these small adjustments to the trim of the aircraft by looking at it visually. And then this data has to be then sent to the gyro from the Basics tab, and we'll go ahead and do that with the activating the send button. Now, what happens is then that this data is going to the gyro, and this is the first level of trim. The next thing to do is to fly the aircraft actually with the gyro switched off. Now the gyro can be switched off on this Basics page, or it can be switched off from the Advanced1 page by setting up a real-time programmable input. We have here on PWM-in7, we've got the gyro on-off function enabled. So if you have channel 5 on the RC transmitter, for example, if the output on channel 5 is greater than the central position, then the gyro will be switched on. If it's less than the central position, the gyro will be switched off. So in our case, with the switch off, we will have the gyro off. So then the aircraft is flown with the gyro off, and any trim made in the normal way with the RC transmitter trim settings. So once this is done, the aircraft landed and reconnected up to the gyro to the PC software. The next stage is to transfer the trim settings that have been made on the RC transmitter to the output of the gyro. This is done by pressing the orange auto button. So let's go ahead and do that. Pressing the orange auto button, and we see that this now contains the trim data from the RC transmitter. So we now go to the tools page and activate the test button here, and we adjust the RC transmitter until the green lines basically disappear. So we're adjusting the RC transmitter trim settings, pitch, roll and yaw, until these green lines are basically not showing, and that means that the positions are all pretty much central. So once done, we go back to our Advanced1 tab page, and we can now send these trim settings to the gyro. So let's go ahead and press the send button.